Jazz is about personalities. The music goes far beyond the notes. On this day in jazz, July 6th, 1961, two of the biggest personalities of the big band era and two of the longest running big bands meet in studio for the first time, the Count Basie Orchestra and the Duke Ellington Orchestra. Ellington was always looking for the most interesting musical personalities, with Bubber Miley on trumpet and tricky Sam Nanton on trombone back in those early days, both masters of the plunger mute techniques that make those instruments talk. Ellington, one of America's greatest composers, wrote for individual voices, not just for the instrument. In fact, his parts were not marked by the instrument, but by the player's name. Basie's band comes from that Kansas City tradition of more riff-based ensemble playing with the soloists as the focus. As time went on, though, that band was relying more on arrangements, and the relaxed, light swing of those early years gives way to a hard swinging, disciplined, and brassy sound, and that's the band we hear on this recording. These two band leaders had a great respect for each other. Basie says of Duke, "Why, it was a thrill, a pleasure, and an honor just standing there and discussing things with this great man." And Duke said of the Count, "I consider the Count to be the essence of the swing. I deem it a pleasure and an honor to have had him and his entire big, fat, sound swinging band as our house guests." How will this work? Two 16-piece bands side by side could sound like a mess, or at least a battle of the bands, but not here. This is like a glorious house party, and the result is spectacular. If you're listening in stereo, you're going to hear the Ellington band on the right, the Basie band on the left. As you might expect, there's going to be a couple classics from each band, including Billy Strayhorn's Take the A Train, Basie's Jumpin' at the Woodside, and Corner Pocket. Some tunes written especially for this date, including the opening track, Battle Royale, and Wild Man, another Duke original, which has this wonderful exotic flute and clarinet intro. Fantastic. And the arrangements give plenty of space for the featured soloists of both bands, including the leaders and their individual styles. You hear a lot of the great Basie light swing. And you also hear Johnny Hodges, Ray Nance, Cat Anderson, and many others. So if you like big band music, you will not be disappointed in this. Like us and subscribe if you like what you're hearing. And that is This Day in Jazz.